in terms of quality and price with discount stores, TV home shopping, and online shopping malls where consumers buy daily necessities without commission. By being a business that sells the products at a lower cost. In terms of the overall businesses, the management is legal and ethical. When we process the payment to our suppliers, we are never late and immediately pay them in cash. So compared to other companies, the management is much more virtuous. With regards to paying taxes, we actually ask of our staff and employees to make sure not to sweep anything. Atomy will continue to not only establish itself as a company people trust, but also become the leader in making it happen. If we are able to show that Atomy can do well with these methods, I believe that other MLM companies will follow suit, and that the history of network marketing can be rewritten. From this point on, we can't lose our foothold and we need to devote ourselves to this cause. This is the company that you are learning about. Since you have gotten to know this tool known as Atomy, you should be asking yourself, how can I succeed? There was a person by the name Andrew Carnegie. Although he was born into a poor family, he was able to becoming rich. And later on, he got to think that I was born into a poor family, but if I was born into another poor family, will I be able to succeed? After thinking about it, he was 100% sure that he would. Even if he was born 10 times, he would be successful every single time. So he thought about why most people are not successful. Why? And he realized that they don't know law of success. So he thought he should teach people the law of success. From the time we are born and to the age of 30, we study, and from 30 to 60, we work. Do we work hard? Yes, we work really, really hard. And from 60 to 90, this is the retirement year. Even though we prepared and worked for 30 years each, in the end, only 1% of the people became successful. Essentially, they were rich and wealthy. 4% of people became financially independent. These people weren't rich, but they didn't need to ask help from others. 15% of the people passed away. 10% of people were living paycheck to paycheck. The remaining 70% of the people were living in retirement without any money or job. 99% of the people failed in life, and only 1% succeeded. If you look at those around you, you kind of get this feeling, right? So the question is, how did the 1% succeed, and why does the other 99% fail? Carnegie's answer was, it's because they don't know the law of success. If 100 people knew the law of success, all of them would become successful. Since they can't become successful, and I need to let people know, I need to teach them the law of success. But these principles and laws aren't something that anyone can just create. So Stephen Covey described this law as the true north principle, which states that north is already fixed and law of success is also fixed. Take out your finger. Could you tell me which direction is north? Everyone is pointing in different directions. It seems many of you are suggesting this is the north, and let's say this is north. Can we actually do that? No. We need compass. But before we use the compass, north has already been fixed. And we can confirm it with the tool. And the law of success is already fixed. You can follow this to become very successful, and the other way as well. Again, this isn't something anyone can set up. And this is a fixed law, like the law of nature. If you were farming but went against against these laws, you will never be successful in your harvest. Thus, many people compare these laws to the law of farming as well. The law of farming states that you must follow the law of nature when you are farming. I will use the law of farming to explain about the laws of success, as it will be easier to understand if you use a farmer cultivating a field as an example. So what is this the first thing that farmers does? The first thing a farmer needs to do is decide how much of what to harvest. If you were to harvest sweet potatoes and for rice, you need different lands. So you need to figure out what kind of food you want to have. And depending on the food, the kinds of food, you can have different kinds of land. So the farmer needs to answer two questions. What? And second, how much will I harvest? When we actually plant the seeds, we need to plant the seeds for farming before harvesting, but we need to make the decision for what to harvest. For our life as well, we need to imagine the last day of our life. Once the farmer answers in his mind how much of what to harvest, he will be able to make the necessary decisions. This process is actually known as MBO, Management by Objectives. With the MBO process, you make your decisions based on your objectives. Essentially, you make decisions based on what you will harvest. Although not many people apply this to their lives, but major institutions like companies and governments are actually using this principle, but this is not really applied for many people in their daily life. And let's imagine if the farmer didn't really have the 10 bags of rice in his mind, then he would never get the rice in his warehouse. That means our successful life should be remembered in our mind as well to make it successful and realistic. The question is, in what ways will you be successful? We as humans have flesh, a physical body. We also have something called spirit. There is something similar to the spirit called soul and the environment. Each of these have their own desires. On top of being complex, all of these desires need to be satisfied. Flesh means to be healthy and live a long life and luxurious and secure life. We can sum this up as live well. Spirit is not the same as our soul. We're actually differentiated from animals due to the spirit. Animals don't have the spirit, they have soul. It's very difficult to tell the difference. Spirit means ethics. And this is also about the concept of time. Spirit has the perfection of time. Animals do not have the sense. But we as humans, we say, when I die, I would have to live this life, and you look back on your past and you also imagine your future, your past and future as well. This is the concept of time. This is the power of spirit. And we got the compassion. We have the desire to be loved by the creature. This is our desire, and we also love the creature. This is what we can become very satisfied. And the third one is soul, including some emotions. And this is something animals also have. And we also have the desire to learn. And the last point is the environment, and we have the desire to contribute to the environment, the society. Why? We have the natural and social environment, and we have desire to contribute to it, playing an important and positive role. But there are some people who die without making any contribution, and he or she would think, I just lived for myself, I didn't do something very good thing for other people, and this would be very regretful. We have flesh, spirit, soul, and environment, the four different factors in our life. This is our life. Then we need a ultimate goal that can satisfy the four factors. You need to have the ultimate goal in your mind to actually realize the dream. For 3 or 4 years later, one of our company motto is to create the vision. That means create your vision in your mind. Draw your vision, draw your dream in your mind. That means this is the same thing with farmers imagining how much harvest they want to get a year later. Just like the farming, we need to create the vision in our mind. This is very important. So this is about drawing your future life in your mind. Do you have your vision in your mind 3 or 5 years later? If you don't have a vivid picture, clear picture in your mind, that means 3 or 5 years later you would live the same life. You are not satisfied with what you're doing right now, and that is because 3 or 5 years before you didn't really have a clear vision in your mind. That's why you are not satisfied with your life. We create vision in our mind. That is why we need to create vision. We need to be healthy, and you can make some plan for your exercise, and we need to live longer, and you need to live a luxurious life, and you might have some financial goal, car, and donation. Those goals should be drawn, and they are actually not separated. They are intertwined with each other. We have flesh to live well, and we have spirit here. This is about learning something. And the third one is soul, which is to love. And lastly, we have the environment surrounding us, and this is to contribute. We need to have a balanced life with the four factors. This is called balanced life. We need to live a balanced life. If it is not balanced, then ultimately, for example, if you're not healthy, then because of that factor, that one missing factor, you would not be very happy. And if you don't have money, if you miss one of the factors, then your life would not be very satisfying. That is why we need to live a balanced life. But the four factors are not separated. They are together. They are intertwined together. If you have the four factors separately, that means those factors are not really important. We need to live well for our loved ones. If you are not living well, then your loved ones would suffer, and your children would be very poor as well, and your children would have many different difficulties, and there are many young people, teenagers, who are very concerned about their future, and some of them even kill themselves. That is why we need to live well for our future generation, for our children. That means we need to learn. So the desire to live well should be very strong. And there are some people who don't really have the strong desire to live well. That means they don't really have strong compassion. At Atomy, you don't really have to have experience, technology, skill, or knowledge, but here anyone can become successful. But there are some people who are not working hard with this good tool. Why? Because they don't have the compassion. If you are determined to work really, really hard to live well for your loved ones, and if you are really, really committed and determined, you will become successful. And are you really determined? Are you ready? We have the loved ones, and that's why we need to live well. I really, really love my wife. I actually try to date with her for 1 year, and I quit my job and established the internet department store, and I failed. I had to live in a very small house with my wife, and my health. I got to lose my health as well, and my wife started to work. And do you know how much money she could earn at the time? Only about 1.5K dollars, not very much. And one day it was winter, and it was really, really cold, and I told her, you can turn on the heater, and she said, I know it's cold. And she said she's cold, and she was saying that she was cold because I was not earning any money, and I was very concerned. And in the past, she used to make some jokes, sing, but she started to talk like that, and we started to have some conflicts, and she told me, let's divorce after our children graduate from school. And I really lost all the energy, and I just cried a lot, and I told her, don't leave me, I cannot let you go. If you leave me, you don't have any house, and you don't have any money, and I will give you all the money and the house before you leave me, and I cannot let you go, I told her. And she told me, can you really do that in your life? And these days she has the money, she has the house, and she never tells me she would leave me. These days we are actually taking care of each other, doing some massage for each other, and my son doesn't really like it, are not very happy, and we are happy today. For the loved ones, we need to live well. So our passion comes from the 3 factors. This is where you can earn your passion. Those without passion, they don't have the compassion and love, sense of love. If you really love your family, then you will naturally become very passionate. If you really love your family, you will naturally work really, really, really hard with a lot of passion, and you would tell your partner you can take rest. And one day, some people said that there is a song in Korea Daddy cheer up, and he didn't really love the song because he was actually already working very, very hard. And we need to sing a new song for the dads. You can take a rest. So we need to create a vision in our mind just like a movie. We need to create a movie in our mind to be healthy, to be energetic. These pictures should be in your mind. What kind of car I want to have and how I would treat my families and friends and relatives. What house I would live in, and how about overseas travel, and how about my parents. These pictures should be drawn in your mind just like a movie. If you dream vividly, then that dream would come true. And some people ask me, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. We have scientific evidence because we as humans don't really differentiate our imagination and reality. What does it mean? I will tell you. Imagine you have a very sweet pomegranate. Can you imagine? You can really feel that you are actually eating the fruit. This is human. When you imagine something, imagine eating this sweet fruit, then you would actually feel that you are eating that fruit. And another example, when you try to wake up in the morning, you would be very tired. I will tell you how to fix it. Of course, you can have hemohim, but here's better solution. Let's imagine if you can earn $30,000 every month, then how would you feel? You would become very, very healthy. Your immunity would be very, very powerful. Will never ill only with $30,000 every month. But can you remember how our minds, how humans can differentiate the reality and imagination? Our body, our mind cannot actually differentiate the imagination and reality. So you should imagine you are living a very, very large house and helping all the people you love, children, and your friends. Of course, this is not your reality, but you should always imagine that future. We need to follow the faith, follow that imagination, and that way you can change your reality. That means your dream is working. You should let your dream work hard. But when you don't really have any dream, you cannot realize it. That is why you need to create the vision. This is different from illusion, and your belief would become faith and your thoughts. That is why we say you need to follow the faith, and this is also about miracle. I firmly believed that Atomy would become the #1 MLM company. I firmly believed that Atomy would become a global company. That's what I said. Faith can create miracle. You should have the faith to earn a lot of money every month. That way, your attitude, your face, everything would change. So you need to dream vividly and imagine vividly, and you need to follow the faith. That means you need to create a movie in your mind, and you should create a scenario for that movie. You can write down, this is the life scenario for your name. And you have the circles right here. You can write down different factors in the circles, and you can score for each factor and connect them. If it is not a complete circle, that means your life would have some issues. So our goal is to have a whole circle. We have many different principles for the life scenario. First, you should be very specific. Details, the color of the car that you want to have, and the address of the house you want to have, and the number of rooms of the house. Secondly, timeline, the deadline should be set up. And lastly, money, how much money you would need for that goal. And you should also put what you can do for your parents. You should be able to give your parents about $1,000 or $2,000 every month. And you can do some calculation. That means every month you need to have at least $30,000 or $50,000. But what actually many people wish to achieve is only about $3,000 or $7,000. Can you really become successful with that much income? No way. They work very hard, but they are not successful. Many people believe that they can become successful when they make a lot of money, but the other way is the right one. Those with low income, they work very hard. Compared to high-income people, low-income people suffer more and they work more. Many people say you need to spend money according to the amount of your income. But the right answer is the other way. You should first fix your expenditure, and you should try and work hard to earn that much money. Here at Atomy, we already have the tool. You don't really have to go and find some jobs. We already have that job, that tool. And Atomy, you should determine your income based on your expenditure. You should follow your faith for your future, and that way you can change your attitude, and that way you can become successful. This is the law of success. You should set the goal, ultimate goal, and move toward that goal. Edison created the light bulb, and it started from his small idea, and he repeated all the tests, and now light bulb became reality. This is the principle of success. And Ford imagined roads with a lot of cars, and he also imagined mass production. That's how we can now enjoy driving. So every success started from small idea and vivid dream in their lives. in their mind. We need to create our own movie in our mind, and we should create a very meaningful, luxurious, and great movie that would make you work even harder. You don't have to reduce your dream. If you have the dream which is very vivid in your mind, then you would naturally work very hard. Some people lose their energy, but if you imagine you can earn $50,000 every month, you would work like this. You would have a lot of energy. This is very natural. You need to change your attitude and mind with your clear vision. You should stick to the vision until your vision can be realized. Vision, you should stick to your vision. That's all. Thank you.